Hey, today we're going to be talking about Richard David James, better known as Aphex Twin. This guy has been making music since his teen years, and he's sort of you might say, an enigmatic electronic producer. Most of them know him for his debut album, his Selected Ambient Works from 85 to 92. And he was born in Ireland, but grew up in Cornwall, England. And in Cornwall, there's only one big city, and that's it. And otherwise, it's kind of right up against the ocean, and the only neighboring county that neighbors with Cornwall is Devon. And so that's where he grew up, and he actually dabbled in taking apart equipment, like tapes, and he got into electronic music because he basically had a sister that listened to this other genre, which was driving him nuts, and so he went out and created his own music, and he started DJing at parties, and eventually kind of dropping his own songs into the DJ mix as he DJ'd. Then later he went to school, and he graduated as an engineer to Cornwall College, and so he truly is like an enigma, in the sense that he keeps to himself, and he only lets out information that he wants the public to know about. And a lot of them say that he's a child prodigy in the IDM, intelligent dance music, techno, acid house genre. And because in 85 he would have been 14. He was born in 71, and that's what the span of his debut album is. It's Selected Ambient Works from 85 to 92. So 85, in 85 he would have been 14 years old. So we're going to be talking actually about that album today, Selected Ambient Works 1985 to 1992. And a lot of people have thought of this record as a turning point in the techno scene, especially in the rave scene, because most of the rave music was really upbeat and very energetic, but Richard took a different approach. He used ambient and house. He used it to enhance the listening, and you can definitely hear that on his debut album, Selected Ambient Works. Now, with that said, Selected Ambient Works is, take that with a grain of salt, because there are some tracks on the album that are ambient for sure, but there are others that are quite very energetic and would kind of fall rather into like techno or house genres. So it's kind of a mixture of songs. It's more of like a collective of all the songs that he created when he was young, up until to 1992, and most of them, I have to say, are ambient, but they are more like ambient house. So not so not so not in the strain of like Brian Eno, or maybe Steve Roach. So maybe those people, Brian Eno obviously created, or not created, but he coined the phrase ambient, and ever since, this type of like wallpaper music, they say, which I disagree. It's beautiful music, and it's beautiful to listen to, and they've called it ambient since Brian Eno coined the phrase back in 1978 when he released music for airports. But in regards to Richard Aphex Twin, he also released music under different aliases like AFX, and those are mainly more upbeat songs like techno, hard-driven techno, hardcore techno, hardcore house. If there's such a thing. I think it's more like hard house, right? Anyways, so we're going to be reviewing the songs on Selected Ambient Works 85 to 92, and we'll start right now. So first song off the album, Xtal. It starts off with some very nice hi-hats and synths and a female voice singing. Although no lyrics, rather babbling la 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 la. Then at 149, my favorite part, the sustaining long synth keys changing from one chord to another, containing a 3-chord progression that sounds ethereal. During the 3-chord progression, the hi-hats change slightly to complement the 3 progressing chords. Then straight back to the breakbeat afterwards at 305. The breakbeat and hi-hats then take turns, and the singing female voice comes back singing la 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 la. Then at 412, the 3-chord progression returns, and it takes it to the end where the 3 chords in the song. So my favorite part of this song is that 3-chord progression, and I think everybody else awaits for that moment in the song to come and go. Not necessarily go away, but it comes back 3 times within the song. At first, second, and third at the very end. And that's, with everything combined, sounds very heavenly. I mean, just beautiful. It's really good. All right, second song, Thaw. So this song starts off with a subdued beat that sounds kind of like a metronome, or rather is a metronome. Out of all the songs, I think this song sounds most like someone that was a big fan of Pink Floyd music and created this song because they knew of Pink Floyd's, loved Pink Floyd. So another subdued synth starts playing along with the metronome, and you can hear passages of people conversing and something that sounds like a sneaker turning briskly on a basketball court. Seriously. The synths go away and are replaced by a hollow-like synth in the background, with the casual conversations winding through the song, along with the sound of sneakers making that high-pitched sound on a basketball court. Almost like a jazz session where each musician of a certain instrument gets its turn in playing for a few seconds, It intertwines throughout the song, where even the metronome has its own time to shine all by itself. The conversations are less and less coherent and sound like they're in some long tunnel, maybe a subway or the underground in London. Who knows? The mystery behind what they are saying is partially what is so intriguing about this song. Kind of like what Pink Floyd would do, drop random people talking as the song would progress. The song ends with the main synth line having its own time to shine and then disappearing into the ever gradual fade out. And that's it. That's the second song. Okay, so third song, Pulse Width, which is a shorter song. The beginning of Pulse Width starts off with a very pleasing synth progression, and then the breakbeat is added upon this synth to create a typical techno sound. It is partially ruined by the massively overused bass drop that keeps reoccurring in the song. The synth progression and the hi-hat beats are what make this song. The bass in this song is enough to break your speakers or your eardrums. But hearing this maybe on your 20th time around, you might possibly obtain an appreciation for the mega bass. That's it for that one. All right, so the next song is Iggy Palace. Iggy Palace? I know something silent in there. Iggy Palace. I'll go with that. Iggy Palace, the fourth song off the album. It starts with a seductive synth chord progression, which is immediately joined by a bass drop, which is once again totally out of bounds, as in too much. The sound engineer on this song truly made the bass completely blown out of proportion. There are some interesting acid hi-hat beats that make this song enjoyable. The song itself goes around in a kind of repetitive pattern, which over some concentrated listening can become enjoyable to hear. Okay, the fifth song, which is just it's the shortest song on the album. It's just 1 minute and 17 seconds long. With this song is ambient music at its truest form, most like an ambient song off of Brian Eno's Thursday Afternoon, which is 1 hour long, but it sounds similar to kind of the same type of music you would hear off of Thursday Afternoon from Brian Eno. Next is Green Calcs. This song starts off like you're warping into the fourth dimension before the actual song kicks off with some acid-tinged breakbeats and hi-hats going off at every split second. Around 1 minute and 20 seconds, another seemingly warped hole we all fall into with a raging panther attacks and growls at you. And then back to the breakbeat again. At 3 minutes and 18 seconds, once again, you encounter a warping soundscape that comes and goes. With the same big cat and a boing sound, like something from Doctor Who's main theme from the 70s. And then the cat gives out another few growls and back to the acid-tinged breakbeats. There are certain delays and sustains at the end, and then as fast as it came, the whole song is warped at the end through another time hole of sorts. All right, so next song is Heliospan, and this amazing song starts off with some hi-hat beats, which then comes in the 4-chord progression of changing chord synths, and then is accompanied by a beautiful breakbeat which is evenly tuned, and the 4-chord progression returns. At this point, your mind is blown away by the ethereal sounds coming through your speakers. Then, as if the 4-chord progression wasn't enough to send you into a heavenly state, a super hi-hat breakbeat comes over the 4-chord progression as if it wants to overtake the 4-part progression. And then, with a kick beat over it all, introduces us back to the breakbeat from the beginning. Then it is all playing at then it is all playing at once, and is like the heavenly skies opened up and made all of the beats work together in unison. I don't know about you, but in my opinion, this is a master stroke by Aphex Twin, and I bet he knew it. Okay, so next song after Heliospan is We Are the Music Makers, and this song is followed by a pretty good breakbeat and an ever-repeating sample of Gene Wilder's We Are the Music Makers from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Apart from that, it is quite a dull song in my opinion. I love Gene Wilder and his character in the movie, but the song itself, its percussions and lacks progression falls far short of Gene Wilder's wise words. I have come to like it more than just hate it and skip it all the time, but believe this song either will grow on you or will be disposable the moment you hear it. There is a hook of sorts between the breakbeat and the synth line working together, which is repeated over and over. But as much as Heliospan was everything to me, this song is the least favorite on this album. This song is the least favorite one on this album. Next in line is Schottky's Seventh Path, the 9th song off the album, just over 5 minutes. This song is kind of like a revealing mystery, like one of Sherlock Holmes' mysteries he needs to have come to light. As the song progresses, the breakbeat and synths work together to create a weaving pattern of intrigue. It is, I'd say, more or less similar to what a true ambient song is composed of, as the song I is. Similar to the song I. Although this song is much longer, timing in at 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Versus I being just over a minute long. I'd say it is a thinking song, one that you can listen to late at night and sounds better in the dark. Next on the list, 10th song off the album, Ptolemy, which the P is silent, I would say. So Ptolemy, 7-minute song, 10 seconds. 7 minutes and 10 seconds. This song is a full-on techno song within this ambient compilation. It has a big breakbeat that comes in immediately and has a synth sound that sounds like it's melting as it is being played over and over again. There is a single beat that is creatively sorry guys, there is a single beat that is creatively placed between all the breakbeats, which is placed above all else, and it sounds rather sublime as you hear it. The breakbeats reinforce themselves as it goes into a marathon of I'll show you who's the boss in breakbeats. It is a highlight off this album that I truly enjoy immensely, a hidden gem in my opinion. Next song is called Headphylum. I mean, where does he get these names of these songs, really? Headphylum. Okay. All right, Headphylum. 6-minute song. This is a cousin to Schottky's Seventh Path with being slightly longer and with heavier beats, wherein it shows itself as a techno banger versus its cousin, Schottky's Seventh Path, being more ambient and soft-toned. In some ways, I think the song is not evenly engineered, as in the bass is out of proportion and the synths in the back are out of place, even for a techno song. But hey, that's just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. All right, onwards to the 12th song off the album, Delphium, which kind of makes me think of dolphins. I don't know why. But this song starts off with a very upbeat house beat that is combined with a lot of delay, and in some way or other, it all sounds in tune and is another gem on this album. Wondering that it probably was written and recorded more like in 1992 rather than in the beginning in 1985. It's a complex song to get right, and is truly Richard's more mature track. One that was created after years of messing around with synthesizer samplers and beatboxes. And last but not least is Actium. The album ends with a true ambient track in true form, one that is not overly ambitious and at the same time is created with a mystic about it. The bass isn't overblown as in some other tracks on the album, and the light synth playing along with the breakbeat accompanying it is done with true taste. Good ending track. So there it is. Those are all the songs. In regards to which ones I like the most, of course, my favorite one is Heliospan. No questions asked. Then I really like Ptolemy, the 10th song. That's a really good song. Then I also like Thaw, the second song off the album. It has that really interesting take on, the conversation going on in the background. Kind of reminds me of Pink Floyd, which I love. And then, of course, the first song, Xtal, with the beautiful 3-chord progression that repeats itself 3 times throughout the song. Once, the first time at 1 minute and 49 seconds, the second time at around the 3-minute mark, and then at 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Anyways, so yeah, definitely check out this album if you like it. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll be reviewing more albums like this from Aphex Twin and from other different EDM genres. This album was very well received when it came out. It was quite different from the typical albums that were coming out at the time, which were more geared towards like rave and techno, really hard techno beats. And this one was kind of like thought-provoking to a lot of people, and therefore they enjoyed it a lot. Which I agree. I mean, there are a lot of really good songs on this album, but without a doubt, it's not all ambient songs. Let's get that straight. It's a mixture of a compilation of songs that he created from his early teens up to 1992. So there are obviously ambient songs on this album, but some of them are more like techno beats, techno songs, and house songs, and with a little bit of ambient in the background. But yeah, it's kind of this is what I've done to this point kind of album, kind of like, here I am, I dropped my first album, and I've been making music since I was a teenager, and I come from a very mythical place, Cornwall, UK, which is seriously out there. like I said, there's only one big city in Cornwall, and that's it. The rest is really kind of countryside, and so obviously you've probably heard about this album before, or you probably enjoy it, and I'm glad that you listened to my review. I enjoy it too. I think Aphex Twin, Richard D. Hall. I'm thinking about Moby. Richard, man, what? Aphex Twin. So his real name is, let's see. Richard. I know his first name is Richard. Richard David James. All right. There we go. That's his name. He's got a first name for a last name. Don't blame me.